Welcome back to our final edition of Hopeful Fridays. Today we're going to be looking at some of the latest research on battery storage. So let's go ahead and get started. We find batteries all over the place in your phones, in your watches, in your laptops, your iPads, and even electric cars now come with rechargeable batteries. So they're becoming an increasing part of everyday life. More importantly, as we transition away from burning fossil fuels to generate our electricity and move towards solar and wind power and other renewable forms of electricity, battery storage is going to become more and more important. The reason being is that the sun and the wind doesn't always shine and blow when we need it to. So on a bright sunny day, you perhaps don't need to have your lights on in your home, but we still want our solar panels to be using that bright sunlight to generate electricity. So we then come up with the issue of storing as much of that electricity as we can, so we can then use it when it's not sunny or when it's not windy. And so developing really stable battery storage which can retain its charge over a long period is an area of really active research at the moment. You might be familiar with the phrase lithium-ion batteries, and these are the rechargeable batteries that you find in your phones and your laptops. But there's a lot of research going on at the moment in looking at different sorts of batteries using different chemicals. And some recent research has used zinc-ion batteries. But more than that, the material that the battery is made out of is actually like a mini solar panel. And so sunlight is able to charge these zinc-ion batteries without the need to hook it up to a separate solar panel. And that helps to reduce the energy that is lost when transmitting the electricity from the solar panel to the battery. Now, unfortunately, they don't hold as much charge density as the current lithium-ion batteries, but they are much cheaper. And they are currently looking at using these alternatives in rural areas in developing countries to bypass the need of having separate solar panels and battery storage, and to leapfrog the use of fossil fuels so that these developing countries in these rural areas can transfer straight onto renewable energy, which will be much cheaper for them and much better for the environment. One of the other problems of using lithium-ion batteries is that our stores of lithium are being used up because we have to mine for the lithium and extract it in order to use it in our batteries. So we want to be able to replace this with a much more abundant chemical, for example, calcium. And calcium also has the benefit of releasing double the number of electrons when it's used in these batteries, and that will increase the current that will flow through the circuit. So these calcium ion batteries are being developed, which have got a much higher capacity compared to the lithium ion batteries. Up until recently, the problem with calcium ion batteries is that they only worked at very high temperatures, and that's not suitable for use in a domestic setting. But recent research has changed the electrolyte that they use, that's the chemical inside the battery. They've changed the electrolyte so it will work at close to room temperatures. Now, this is still being developed, and these small scale projects need to be demonstrated to be able to be scaled up and used on a much wider basis. To further reduce the need to mine for our rare elements like lithium, scientists are also looking at everyday materials to see whether or not they have the potential to be used in batteries or to hold a charge. And so recently scientists have discovered that ceramics such as bricks that you find in your house are able to be used as what we call supercapacitors. So they're able to hold a charge, and then it's been shown that these bricks can release that and power LED bulbs. Now, there's questions about this research about the charge density, and it looks very low at the moment, but given the number of bricks that are available in buildings, then there's no reason why it can't be scaled up so that essentially your whole house is able to store the charge that you're making from your solar panels or wind energy, whatever it might be. So this is a really exciting area of development and needs a lot more research done on it, but these are the sorts of projects that will hold the key to better battery storage in the future. Finally, we also need to be able to recycle the batteries that we currently use in order to repurpose them into the new batteries that we are currently making, because even a rechargeable battery won't last forever and it will degrade over time. So it's really important we look into the processes that we can use in order to extract the materials of that battery and reuse them in new batteries or reuse them in other products, other processes that we have going on. But as the world transfers into using more electric vehicles, that is going to potentially produce a massive amount of waste of these new batteries as they degrade over time. So it's going to become really important that we have what we call a circular economy, which tries to reduce the waste as much as possible by repurposing the materials into other products. So there we have it, lots of interesting research going on at the moment into battery storage, and really it's one of the key priorities that the world needs to be able to solve in order to move fully to renewable energy. So I hope you've enjoyed this Hopeful Friday series. I hope you've learned something. I hope that it's inspired you, that we can tackle the problems that we face. Your final weekend mission is to look at all the devices that you recharge over this weekend. So it might be your phone, your laptop, your iPad, it might be your sports watch. And I want you to see if you can keep track, so time, how long it takes for you to recharge all of your devices using them across the entire weekend, just to see how many hours it takes to recharge them. Because if we can shorten that time it takes for these batteries to be recharged, that's another step for them to be used much more effectively in things like electric vehicles. So stay positive, have a good weekend, see you next time.